spin.
Where did you dig up that old fossil?
Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
That's no move.
We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you?
Welcome to the Star Wars Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Badabonker.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
Of course, we're going to talk about episode 4 of Andor, which dropped last week, but we're talking about it on Monday because we can get together on Monday. We've had lots of time to digest and watch it. Did you watch it more than once, Kenton?
I've only watched it once. How about you?
I watched it more than once. I quite liked it. It's been my favorite episode yet.
Oh, me too.
It's very, very good.
It is my favorite episode, and they're renaming the show Clem.
I want to see that logo. I want to see that.
Clem.
Yes, that would be awesome.
It's like the funniest name they could possibly give them using a Star Wars name.
It's such a random name,
Yeah.
and it probably means something to somebody there, you know. But it's like,
Must.
yeah, just Clem.
Cracked me up every time. And even they can't keep it straight on the show, where it's like Andor Clem. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing about Star Wars names is that it's either like so weird that you never recognize it before, or it's Luke or Clem or like
Clem.
Ben or like like just plain names. That's kind of the way, or it's Andor or I guess Leia could be Leia's pretty simple too, I guess, but that kind of bridges the gap a little bit.
Yeah, like normal names versus crazy names.
Yeah.
Elan Sleazebaganano or whatever. I always get his last name wrong, but that's another. You can also have a name in Star Wars that's based on what people think of you.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Are there any other instances of that? I don't think.
There has to be. There has to be one.
All right. Well, maybe somebody can help us out with that. But let's talk about the episode now. One thing I noticed now I want to tell you that I came out of watching 3 episodes of The Bear in a row before going into this episode.
That makes it better, doesn't it?
It does.
It makes it better.
Because of the actor who's in it. I don't know his name, of course, because I never know the names, but the actor who plays Cousin Richie in The Bear is one of these members of this group that he's now joined, that Andor has now joined. So he comes to this planet now. He's been brought there by, sorry, I should be recapping this. He's been brought there by Stellan Skarsgård, right? So
we're just going to call him Stellan Skarsgård from now
Well,
on.
we'll get his character name eventually. I think that usually comes with a couple episodes.
And by the way, that character is one of my favorite Star Wars characters now. What the hell? Why is he so great?
Well, he does all this.
So awesome.
Yeah, like we get to see him kind of go back to. We see Coruscant. That was so cool to see Coruscant again and see that this is what people are living like on Coruscant. And he puts on like a costume.
Yes.
It's like he's a fake personality, and he's like practicing in the mirror, smiling and looking like a normal person, I guess.
He goes from he goes from badass. Like when the wig went on, I just didn't know what was happening. I was thinking like,
yeah.
I was like, is he?
Well, I thought he grew his hair out suddenly or something. There was a Star Wars machine that did that.
You see him putting on the wig, and it looks bad from the back because the makeup artists haven't done anything with it yet, right? So he's putting it on. I'm like, is he pretending to be a homeless man? Like I was trying to, but then you see him putting like stuff on his wrist, like the bracelets.
And the rings, like the jewelry that someone like that stature would have. It's all a front, right? It's all an act.
It's all a front, but I was like, where is this going? It didn't even occur to me that would somehow translate to he's running an antique shop on Coruscant.
And that it's a front for communicating with Mon Mothma, who comes in and who is like,
she's great in this.
She's awesome,
so great.
And they have a conversation about what's going on. He needs money. She's having a hard time getting the money, and they need to do this deal, this mission now, of course, to rob a garrison. So it becomes a heist show. It becomes about this, about them robbing this bank. It's a whatever it is, an imperial base.
Heist spy show, kind of. And is that? I don't think that's all it is though, because I think we'll get they will pull off the heist in the next episode. Will they not?
You think so? I don't know. I mean,
we have to kind of see.
We don't even know what the plan is. Like, I don't know if they have to train Andor on it. They have to tell him, Clem. They have to train him on it, and like figure out what we have to set us up for some parts of it. I think they have to take us through. So maybe not this episode, but the one after that, we'll see the heist.
Oh boy, that's gonna kill me waiting for that because I'm so excited to see it. I really am.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
And by the way, the guy from The Bear, whatever that actor's name is, he needs to live through the heist. He needs to make it, right? I like him. I like him in the show.
I like him in The Bear. I don't know if I like him in this show.
Oh no,
yet.
I like him in the show. Yeah,
I like some of those other characters we see, and there's quite the cast now we have of all these different people that are it's a lot of characters to keep track of. But they go through the introductions, right? And they take us to everybody. So we've got kind of a nice motley crew. Someone's gonna die. One of these people, at least one of these people are gonna die. Probably the kid
is dead.
Oh, probably the kid. Unfortunately, yes.
Because that'll give the greatest amount of gravitas
That's right.
For the survivors. I think.
Unfortunately, he's so innocent. Yes, of course. But so that's an interesting. We get the setup. They're now, and of course, they're all like, "What the hell's going on? Why are you bringing this guy in here?"
Yeah.
And she's got to somehow explain this. That was a weird situation. But I guess it's because of the rebel cell, right? You can't know about what's going on because they keep everybody isolated. If they get captured, they have no information to pass on, right? So everything's very isolated. They don't know where she gets her orders from.
Right.
I think is what that is. So so that's fine. They accept it. They move on. They're not. Some people don't accept it as much as others. But then they kind of start working on it, and he's like, and he is capable. He can do what they're wanting him to do. He can fly the ship. He can sneak around. He can shoot.
Yeah.
He can do all. He's just a man of many, jack of all trades, man of many talents. And he is the guy who's going to help them finish this mission. What that mission is, all we know is that they have to steal credits. I guess it's going to be in the form of like maybe the bars that we've seen in the past, those kind of imperial pressed bars of, I want to say gold press latinum because I've been watching a lot of Deep Space Nine, but it's not. It's what do they call it? Beskar, right? That was the wasn't that the stuff in the Mandalorian?
It's the Mandalorian, but what's the stuff? Remember Solo had the heist too?
Oh yeah, what was that? That was the stuff for like
spice.
Spice. There's spice or like there's hyper. There's all kinds of stuff they could be doing really.
But they need they're basically going broke, and they need. The rebellion needs to be
money.
launched.
Yeah, they need to buy all those X-wings, right? They need to fund the rebellion.
The single TIE fighter flyover when he's making his way to the camp. That's the most terrifying, I think, TIE fighter flyover we've ever had. That's scarier than what we saw in Force Awakens, where they're running from the thing shooting at them, and that's less scary than them hiding behind the rock, and it's like, rah, it just comes flying over. So they did a really nice job of setting up like this is going to be a dangerous mission. Yeah,
but I was worried because those people did such a poor job of hiding. What the hell are they doing? They barely like got against the rock. They're like feet are sticking out, going, "What are you doing, man? Get back!" Like I don't know. They should have saw them.
Yeah, I agree. Because I thought that the TIE fighter was going to turn around.
Right.
Like, I thought this.
That's not good enough.
No, I thought this was the beginning of their problems.
Right.
But I guess it's probably hard to see. You can only see out that little circle.
Right.
The front.
That's right. They have no peripheral vision in those TIE fighters.
Right. So, but yeah, like I like how the stakes are high.
Yes.
And it's scary. And we're back to Star Wars, the bad guys being scary.
Yes. And you can think of this as maybe the second movie. Like I think in terms of that first 3 episodes being like the first movie in this trilogy of this series, this could be the beginning of the second one where he's setting up. And they have been kind of talking in terms of films as far as these series have gone. Like they have I think the same person directing all of them, right? Or maybe different people directing now.
Isn't it Tony Gilroy?
Tony Gilroy, has been directing most of them, I think, if not all of them. I know somebody will correct
I guess
me.
we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been very consistent, right? And it's a very consistent vision, and that was the same for the Book of Boba Fett, although they did have different directors for that.
They did.
Definitely. They made a big deal out of that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. What else about this episode?
Then they've also got, at the same time, they've got the Empire story going on, and it turns out the Empire is just a bunch of boring people with meetings and reports and timesheets. They have timesheets, I'm sure.
Sure they do, but it's just like in the first movie. That meeting scene was like, this is just a callback to the first Star Wars movie where they had that meeting in the boardroom with all the things. There's just no Lord Vader there to choke somebody, but that's the exact same situation.
Even more bureaucratic, though.
Yes.
And even more like...
White uniforms.
We don't want you getting too fancy with the thinking around here. All we want is for you to deliver the reports on time, and we don't want to hear your creative thinking or your plans for something that we don't already know.
And that actor is also somebody that's well known, I think. Was that guy in Game of Thrones, the guy who plays the commander,
I love that guy, and I think I looked it up while I was watching the show, and I do believe you're right.
Yeah.
He is from Game of Thrones.
He was, oh man, so good.
Yeah.
And yeah, that whole situation, we get more characters introduced. We have this new kind of Imperial character who I assume is going to, I don't know why I feel like she's going to become good. She's going to become Andor's friend at some point.
Yeah, she's being smacked down at work.
Yeah, she's going to be there. She's going to give up and you know, flip on the Empire to give the rebellion a start or something there, because they already have one guy. They have one guy who's an Imperial guard, right? He's on board, so they can flip some other people.
Oh yeah, I do think, although it's unknown if she has grand ambitions that she's going to go after independently and be successful doing that, or if in fact she's sick of being put in her place by that boss who just wants his timesheets delivered on time. Like her boss at the agency needs those reports and timesheets delivered. And probably it's like us at work where we need to for reasons we've never learned, we need to sign timesheets, and it doesn't really.
We don't have to do that anymore.
No, not anymore. But don't tell anyone.
The pandemic took that away because we were never in person.
Because they did nothing, and that's what we knew at the time.
Right, and this just proved it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the Empire's version of that.
Yeah.
These reports do nothing, but that's what you're doing here. You're delivering reports, and don't worry. Like, we'll leave the thinking to higher ups, kind of thing, and almost like, and actually like our pal, remember our security guard pal from the previous episode?
Yes.
Kind of like that. Like he had this grand ambition and he was not rewarded for that ambition.
Now, we do see him. We continue to follow him.
That?
So why do you think that is? Now, we see him go back home. I don't know where he lives. Is it Coruscant? Is that supposed to be Coruscant? It looks like Coruscant.
It did look like
a city. It's definitely not the same planet he was on. It's a different planet.
Yeah. They sent him away.
And he goes and he has to move back in with Mom.
And Mom slaps him and hugs him.
He has an overbearing mother. Go figure. He has an overbearing mother.
Didn't see that one coming. But I love the fact that we see the little apartments
and
stuff. And I actually think that he could be on the verge of flipping.
True.
But he's not competent. So I'm not sure we want him flipping.
Yeah.
Or like, once again, I think maybe like what we just said, either he has some ambitions to prove everybody wrong, or maybe he will join the rebellion. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more likely he's going to try and come back and get revenge on Andor somehow and get into that, he's going to mess something up because of that. Like, I don't think he's going to become a good guy. I don't know. Is he a likable character? I don't like him at all. I think he's awful.
No, they certainly set him up to be unlikable. But now he's been put in his place. He's got the grand smackdown. He's got to move into his mom's basement. Like, he's basically like the uber nerd of the show. And he has to figure out a way. And I would have said if we didn't see him again in that episode, we would never see him again. But because we did, and because we followed him to his mother's place, this has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
We're not done with him.
No, I know. And it's unfortunate because I think of those characters in that arc, that whole beginning arc, he's the one I like the least. I like the other two officers better.
Me too.
Because I think they're the more interesting characters, but I guess this is the way they're going, right? They have to have this guy, and you may be right. Maybe he will flip and become better. I don't know.
I don't know. It's so hard to know where this could go.
Yeah, it continues to be very different, not like Star Wars, except for the TIE Fighter. That was really the only. I mean, you got some more speeder stuff in this episode.
Then we had so then to bring it back to the art store or the whatever that is, the relic.
Right. Yes, store. He has to go and meet with. He talks to Mon Mothma.
Yeah, Mon Mothma shows up, and I thought that those scenes were so claustrophobic about like even though. Like, basically, even though she's a senator and she's powerful and et cetera, on paper she still has to watch everything she says, and you don't know, like, who's your friend and who's your enemy. And when she walks to the back of the store and they have their quick little chat, she has to make sure her driver doesn't overhear.
Yeah, he's some kind of spy or something by the...
Like, yes.
I mean, this is the... Empire kind of putting their fingers out into what was formerly the Republic, right? So we're seeing that shift. This is now 5 years. They made it clear 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. So this is now, I guess, 13 years after the Empire took over, right? So It's been a while now, and they're pretty firmly entrenched in this stuff. So,
but talk about claustrophobic and not being able to speak freely, and sort of getting the sense of what it's just like for the average. That she's not even the average person, but what it must be like under the Empire, where you can't trust anybody and somebody might report you.
It's like allusions to like Soviet Russia in the 80s, like that kind of stuff, right? That's kind of thing that was going on there. Maybe is there somewhere around the world that's like that right now?
Russia.
Russia?
It's Russia? Always like that.
Damn it. What are you guys doing over there? Come on, Russia. Anyway, yeah, that's and I walked into that one.
I wonder if there's another country like that. Well, but remember Gorbachev showed the dearly departed Gorbachev changed things, and then it went back.
Right,
yeah.
right.
The
then
times they are changing back.
Anyway, all right. What else? What else happened in this?
And here's the thing: for my key takeaway from the episode was the scene after that, where the worst person in Star Wars. It has to be one of the worst people in Star Wars, Mon Mothma's husband.
Oh my God. What was with that guy? Holy shit.
It's my day of days. I want to be happy. Boo-hoo. His day of days.
Right.
Which she says, and by the way, Dan, do you know where day of days comes from? I'm happy to point this out.
Don't know. I don't remember.
That is a holiday special
Oh,
callback.
yay!
Where Princess Leia, at the end of the holiday special, Carrie Fisher sings the Star Wars song.
Right.
And she sings "It's a Day of Days" in the song, and so that's where that came from. It came from the Star Wars. So that's our first. Is that our first canon holiday special?
No, because they did it. When did they do it? They just had something else recently.
Oh, I guess the Mandalorian's gun. There's things like that.
There's something else I thought of recently that was in that special. It's on Disney Plus, so that's part of the, like, everything on Disney Plus is canon, isn't it? So there's that. I don't know. There's something. I guess that was the animated thing. That was it.
Right.
They put that on Disney Plus, but anyway, sorry.
No, so yeah, but anyway, hey, there we go. We're going back to the holiday special. Last week we wondered if they do any Star Wars references. Like any wider universe references.
Right.
And so having Mon Mothma in there, they did that. I know that there's some stuff, some trinkets in the relic shop that people have been pointing out, etc. And but Mon Mothma's husband, she has to divorce that guy, right?
I think so.
That's where that's
going.
Well,
I think, or he betrays her to the Empire, right? That's where that could go.
Well, he's sort of like apart from all of it. And he says, "Can't we just be happy? Can't we just forget about this big struggle for my day of days? Can't I just enjoy?"
I want to know who these people are that he invited that she hated so much. I'm like, I want to see what these people look like.
I think I know who one of them is.
Oh, who?
I believe. Okay, in the prequels where the Emperor is like, "I'm declaring martial law," and standing next to him is that little bald lady.
No.
She's kind of like, she looks like Sinead O'Connor, sci-fi Sinead O'Connor.
Okay.
Is standing next to him. I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe she is one of the people named.
Okay.
I think it's her.
Okay,
I can't think of her name right now, but I believe she names her. And Mon Mothma says, there's someone who I think I can trust.
Bail?
Well, that's the Jimmy Smits is the easy way to go. Do you think that's who it is?
Well, that's what I wrote here. I said, who's she talking about? Bail?
Yeah.
So I think that must be it. I also wrote, nice car, Mon Mothma. That was a nice car.
But she's being driven, so does she own it? I don't know. It's a rental. It's an Uber.
It's a government vehicle. It's like she has no choice. I also made a note. Politics is boring. Love it, because that is kind of the message here. But that was always part of Star Wars. The politics was always there, so they are still kind of keeping that as part of it. And it's not as boring as it once was. I'm older now, so I can understand what's going on.
Politics are like, that was the big complaint about. There's lots of big complaints about Phantom Menace, but one of them was, what a yawner. Yeah. What a trade dispute. Who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever. And so I thought it was funny. It was a built-in, that was them tipping their hat to the built-in Star Wars criticism.
Yeah. Sorry. I just had something and I lost. I was thinking about
Who's going to show up for the dinner party?
Who's going to show up for the dinner party? No, there was something else. Sorry. I lost it again. I'll look back at what I was looking at.
The Emperor could show up for the dinner party.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks is still a senator, I imagine, right?
Probably.
Oh my God! If we see Jar Jar Binks in the most serious Star Wars ever made, what is going to happen?
That would be awesome. But he's broken down and he's like a shell of his former self because he's been just racked over with the from the Senate, just trying to work against the evil people.
What if that's the person Mon Mothma can trust?
Right.
What if it's Jar Jar?
One friend is Jar Jar Binks. Yes, that's right. That's what.
Oh, that could ruin the whole show. It could be in one hilarious swoop. It could that could ruin everything. But it would be. I mean, hey, bring it on! I say if they actually have the wherewithal to work them in.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. The what I got, the vibes I got from Coruscant, it wasn't those on that whole scene, all that whole part with like Stellan Skarsgård and that whole. It really felt like the books to me, like the extended universe or whatever you want to call it, books that we read, when we were younger, when they came out in the 90s and that kind of stuff that we read when there was no other Star Wars. I do think that kind of felt like that. That's what that is, and of course all the new books carry that over. But back then, those books were all we had. That's the only way we could get Star Wars, and I think this captures that.
That did not look like the Coruscant that we know, but we've barely seen. Oh no, we saw some street scenes on Coruscant in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, Elon Sleazebagano is on Coruscant, right? That's all.
So it didn't look like that. It looked more like where, like the government part of town, where maybe more upscale, or where people just live. It didn't look so much like the big city thing that we'd seen in the other films.
Right.
Like I don't know. It just brought it down to a street level without it necessarily being super noteworthy. Like it just looked like when you go to another city, there's the tourist part, and then there's the part just where a neighborhood or whatever, and that just looks like a neighborhood. And I guess that's, we're in a different part of Coruscant than we've seen before.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
me too.
that we saw that.
Yeah, I like to see all the different lifestyles we see on display in the show are really fun. So, yeah, it's good. I'm loving it. It's going to be, keep going.
I love the intrigue. And there's only one big groaner for me in the whole show, and that was when the show ended. And I was like, are you telling me we're not doing the heist? Come on. Like, I was ready.
Oh, I knew that wasn't going to come in this episode. I honestly don't think it's going to be in the next episode. It's going to be it might be the finale. It might be like the end of the thing.
No way.
No?
Isn't it 12 episodes? There's no way that can go another.
Well, they said it says 3 days, right? They have this plan, so we get to see this, whatever this spectacle is. They said the eye opens up, whatever that is. And so we get to see this. And so they said it's 3 days away. So maybe it will be the next episode because 3 days could pass and we could be there. Or we could get 3 more episodes, 1 per day. No, they're going to go 24 on us. No, it's going to be, I don't know. I think that they want to play this out a little bit longer. We might get it next episode. Depends on how long the episodes are. They've been varying wildly, right? Anywhere from 30 minutes to 50 minutes. If it's 50 minutes, I can't guarantee I can get it in the morning.
I know. Well, I'm the same way. If it goes over an hour, then I'm really messing with getting to school on time. Yeah. I think it still can be done, but it's probably not recommended.
Like, note to the makers of the Lord of the Rings series, this is keep it under an hour. That's what you should be trying to. Otherwise, you're just making movies at this point. And that's what they're making over there. Every one of those episodes is at least an hour and 10 minutes at least. Whatever.
No, and I'm with you on that. Like, keep it hey, I like the 40-minute episode as a sweet spot. Probably, I love the length of the episode. I was just ready for. I thought we'd see the thing at least. Like, show us where.
Yeah, the base. It would have been nice to see the base or set it up somehow. True, that would be good. But I'll wait anyway. It's still going to be a fun scene whenever we see it. Something's going to go wrong. He's going to have to step in. They've already kind of told us what's going to happen, right? So we just have to see it play out. But I'm sure something unexpected will take place.
And we're gonna get the solar thing that they talked about, and that's gonna be interesting. I think we're leading up to a big set piece.
Okay.
Which I'm looking forward to. But the show continues to be surprising. Mm-hmm. It continues to be gritty. It's slow moving, I guess, but it's also very absorbing. Like I don't watch the show and think this is boring. Mm-hmm. How about you?
No, not at all. I feel like it goes by. I'm completely invested in it. And I did, like I said, watching it twice was not a chore. I'm like, okay, let's watch it again. Like I was like, yeah, let's go back in there and see what happened, because you do pick up on stuff the second time around, and it is more enjoyable. So yeah.
Yeah, I really like the tone of this, and I wonder how it's doing in like ratings wise.
How do we know that?
I know. Well, sometimes they say, like, remember they said Obi-Wan Kenobi is the most watched premiere in Disney Plus.
They always say
history,
that, though.
But yeah, well, they do, I guess,
because they hyped it up.
But I hope that this is doing well, because I think this might be very important to the where Star Wars goes from here. Right.
Well, think about the next. Again, this is the most non-Star Wars we've had, right? But now we're going to go back into Rogue. What's it called again? Rogue Squadron. The name of that movie coming out next year?
It's not coming. It's off the list again.
Oh, is it? Oh man, yeah. Why can't they get that stuff going?
No,
what's going on?
Rogue Squadron's off the list again. Maybe one day it'll get made, but maybe it'll just be a Disney Plus show at this point. I don't mind, to tell you the truth. As long, hey, they're giving me great Star Wars. And way more of it than we ever could have expected, so I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in. I'm fine with it just being on Disney Plus. I know there's some folks who miss the the cinematic experience going to the theater, but I'm not one of them. I love being able to see it when it comes out.
I think the theater going experience is not what it was, and we'll have to have a conversation about that at some point. I'm going to go this month for sure because I'm doing my horror movie marathon again, as I do every year. So so follow me on TikTok if you want to follow with that. But so I will be going to see something in the theater, I'm sure. Probably not the Halloween movie though. So I'll report back on my experience, but it has not been great the last couple of times. Okay, yeah. So this is it's just like stale popcorn. It's like all the worst stuff you can imagine. And when we go for something like, it's typical. They're so used to being dead when the movie comes out that everybody wants to see. Like the Thor movie was when I saw that last time. That they're just ill prepared for the crowds kind of thing. Right.
It's the whole movie going experience has taken a hit over the last
for theaters for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says Rotten Tomatoes. I just have Rotten Tomatoes ratings, which is 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is higher than both Obi-Wan 82 and Book of Boba Fett, which was 66. What the hell?
That's too low.
What the hell, people? That's stupid.
That is stupid.
And
what's the Mandalorian at?
Mandalorian was didn't say what the hell? Oh, 97%.
Right.
93%. 93 for the Mandalorian. So this is not a accurate highest since the Mandalorian. That's what it says. I guess that's accurate to say. So there you go. So people like it. People like it. It seems like it's doing well.
But I think the people who are watching it are really liking it. I don't think there's a broader knowledge among people that this is out there, though. I think it's strangely seems underhyped.
Yes, I agree. It is very much so. It is nobody, like, there's not a lot of talk on TikTok about it. There's not a lot of, like, just general people talking about it. So, yeah, it's just getting, because it's not, like, Star Wars that we all just know. There's no Luke Skywalker or Chewbacca or any of the characters we know. People are not, attaching themselves to it.
I don't want this to be like Solo, where the movie comes out, we enjoy the movie. People now are like going, oh, that was really good. Like, Solo's a good movie, and it is a good movie. But people kind of didn't know it was out. They got confused between it and the previous movie. They didn't like the recasting of Harrison Ford, and there's all this stuff that came into play, and then they're like, okay, we're not doing those side movies anymore.
Yeah, and I kind of like where those are going, right? But I guess that is what this became. Those side movies, like the Boba Fett, they were going to do a Boba Fett movie, and then it became the Book of Boba Fett. So this is like they're just kind of taking those ideas and making them into series,
and which is fine by me as long as we get to see them. But I don't want this experiment with tone to be an unsuccessful experiment. Because if it is, then we're never going to get this again. We're never going to get anything that veers from the Star Wars that we already know.
Yeah.
And I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi, but that is like the Star Wars we've always known. That storyline.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're getting into and like there's so much money that must have gone into Andor just when you just watch the show.
Oh, for sure.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's very high quality and it's so much detail and so much different things that we haven't seen before in Star Wars, right? So it's just very well done. And maybe they're doing like a safe one and then a not safe one. Maybe they'll go that way and say, or maybe they'll do like a Pixar used to do like. They had a formula like a couple original ideas and then one sequel or something like that because they know the sequels will make money, so they always do something that will make money. So they are going to come out with something like what's the next series coming out for Star Wars? Do you know off the top of your head?
Mandalorian in March.
Yeah, I guess so. But is there a new series coming out? There's the Ahsoka series.
Oh yeah, when's that? That'll probably be after that.
Yeah, okay. There's a few more.
Or
things
maybe I'm
coming
wrong.
out.
Maybe not. I think it will though, just because we've got a full Mandalorian trailer and not an Ahsoka trailer.
Right. Okay.
So probably Mandalorian, then maybe Ahsoka, and we've got the Acolyte.
Well, the Mandalorian is the safe thing. That's the thing that's going to make everybody happy.
People already know they love it.
Yes.
And we do love it.
We'll get that coming out. They'll love that, and then they'll go. Maybe Ahsoka will be like experimental again, and it'll be cool. But I don't think it shouldn't necessarily have the same tone as Andor. It just should have a different tone, something different from Star Wars. That's what I like most about Andor, is that it's different from the other things that we've seen so far.
Well, and the other ones, they're going after like the grand galaxy. There's a plan in the whole galaxy. And I think with Mandalorian and Ahsoka, we'll head toward the Thrawn.
Yep.
I think that's where this is all going.
Yep.
It's just some team up. It's going to be great. It's going to be like the first Avengers or something when it wasn't. We'd never seen that before.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that's where that's going. But I like that. I don't think, and I don't know what I think. Like last week we said, are we going to see anything from Star Wars? And of course, Mon Mothma is a pretty big name.
But it's still not like the Imperials look different. They're not like the Dark Imperials. They have white uniforms, so they're making it very much. I think they're making an effort to make it look not like Star Wars, even with the Star Wars stuff.
Is Krennic wore white? Is he around there?
I don't know, but there was a reference to Scarif in this episode, right?
And Minban.
Yes.
So both like from other movies.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So we're getting some of that, and I watched one YouTube video on the mysteries in the antique shop.
21 things you missed in the antique shop.
21 things you missed.
No,
and it was all, but it was all like this could be this and that could be that, and this is Indiana Jones reference. Like there's World Between Worlds reference, like all this stuff, and it's like, you know what? It's just in this little museum. We're not getting World Between Worlds on this. Indiana Jones is not strolling through a set in Andor. It's not happening.
No, sorry.
But most people go off the deep end on this stuff.
Well, it's because of the ETs in the scene in the set there. That one shot of the ET aliens. They think it all exists in real life or in that movie.
We could see ET in the film.
We could because it is canon.
That's right. Yeah. It's canon, and we have seen it. But I don't think we're going to see them. Like E.T., we had Wookiees, we had like all those alien species in their own little pods and stuff, and yelling and screaming and cheering. We have no reason to believe we're going to see that Senate chamber other than what we've seen in the trailer, which is empty. It's empty. I think.
Is it? Okay. I don't remember. But I mean, we could see a Senate session. I think we no, I don't know about the trailer, but I think it's possible that we would see it.
In the trailer, I think you see Mon Mothma walk into there, but I don't think there's anybody in there.
Oh, okay.
I think it's empty.
Well, maybe she just gets to work early.
But you know what? The more I'm thinking about this, the more I think the Emperor could be in this.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely possible.
As much as he was in Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Just quick.
Yeah, just a scene, just one thing about him, and that's it. Like just to bring the weight of everything down on something. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
What storyline do you like better? The political intrigue or the heist?
I like the heist better, to be honest. I'm more interested in the heist. I love heist movies. I think that it's going to be fun seeing. Like I like going back to Solo. The train robbery was a great scene. Anything like that. Even the Kessel Run was a great scene.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's what this is going to be like, and I really really love that. So it's going to be like everybody has a different plan. It's like Mission Impossible. Everybody has a different job to do.
Yeah.
And then one of them is going to fail, and Andor's going to step in and do that job, and then someone's going to betray them. Somebody's got to betray them.
Oh, you think there's a dirty rat?
I think so. In that group of 7. Yeah, I think there's one.
Oh no, it's going to be the guy from The Bear.
And then he's going to die. Yes, cousin Richie is going to die.
I want him to live. I do, because I think that actor has a lot to offer.
Oh, he is an excellent. I mean, in The Bear, he's incredible. And that show, I still have a couple episodes left, but it's been so good. I was resistant to it. I'm like, whenever anybody raves about a show, I'm like, yeah, just calm down. It's a show, but it really is very good.
Well, I see. When I heard about it, I was like, I don't want to watch some stupid show about making dishes at a restaurant in Chicago. I thought it was like your basic Chef Ramsay.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever in Chicago. And I was like, oh, it's fictional. And I was like, okay, well, that's different. And then you watch the first episode and you're like, no, wait a sec. This is actually good. It's good.
It really is.
Yeah, and it's great. And by the end of it, it's great. Yeah. It's a great show. And I think, I wish we knew the actor's name, but I think the guy from Andor is in line. I think he will quite likely be nominated for an Emmy. Not for Andor at this point, but I think just for the Bear.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens on Andor, because I'm hoping that he has a bigger role.
Maybe he does. It just was weird. Again, I tell you, I was just watching 3 episodes of The Bear. All right, let's switch to something else. Let's go to Andor. And it was like, what? You got to be kidding me. Same guy. And then, that happens all the time to me now, because I've been watching things like, I watched Twin Peaks, and the father from Twin Peaks was in Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And all these, like, 80s actors crossing over into different things. Like, that's kind of, you see that quite a bit when you watch a lot of media from the same era. Yeah. So there's an interesting, we can go down that thread another day. What else? Anything else before we wrap up today?
No, I really like where Andor is going. As I say, the only groan moment was, no, it's over, which is a good sign, because it means you want more.
Right.
And I can't wait for this week. Are there any other weeks where we're getting more than one episode?
I have no idea. No idea what they have planned.
They did produce a schedule that I did not look at.
No.
I'm like, yeah, every week. But then now I'm wondering if we are going to get some weeks where there's more than one. I hope.
Maybe at the end, maybe they'll do a final. Maybe the last episode will be like 2 hours long, like they did with Stranger Things.
How am I supposed to watch that before school?
I don't know. Come on, guys. All right, well, we'll see what's happening. We'll come back next week and talk about it. That's going to do it for this episode of the Star Wars Nerds. I'm Dan Vadabonker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the Force hit you on the ass.
I'm taking an awful risk, Vader. This had better work.
Where did you dig up that old fossil?
That's no moon.
Now I am